Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're going to review Selina Mind at Large VR, a game released on the MetaQuest store February 20th, 2025 by developer Trotskind. It normally retails for $30, but I did buy this on sale for about $6. Selina Mind at Large is a narrative-driven puzzle game. It is heavily influenced by the works of Carl Jung and M.C. Escher. The puzzles here, though, are not your typical adventure puzzle game type of puzzles. Instead, these are all water physics-based puzzles. So they're all logic type puzzles, and gravity plays a big part of these puzzles because the gravity changes depending on your perspective. You can basically teleport to any wall or ceiling, and then the gravity will switch to where you're standing. This can make the game pretty intense, especially for those not used to this type of mechanic in VR. However, there are comfort options available. Overall, I do recommend this game. I did enjoy playing it, but I did come across several issues while playing this game, and I want to estimate that I beat the game in 4 to 5 hours, although the MetaQuest does not keep track of your playtime, so that's just an estimate. And part of my criticism is that I do think the game is too expensive for what it is, but let's talk about Selina Mind at Large, what I liked and what I didn't like. First of all, Selina Mind at Large is running on the Unity engine, and on the MetaQuest 3 I did notice some micro stutters every now and then, usually after a loading screen or after a cutscene. Overall, I do think the game looked good. I think the art style here really saves the game. There was a variety of very creative scenes here, a lot of them very colorful, very imaginative, and just the variety was impressive, from going to a fun house, to an art museum, to a fantasy castle, to a school. As you traverse the mind of this child, you basically see her childhood memories, imagination, dreams come to life. And that's the magic of VR, and this game captures it perfectly. This game had several very magical moments, and it was fun to explore overall, but not everything was perfect. There were some visual glitches, along with some areas just being too dark, but overall I would say this is one of the better looking Quest standalone games. You do have full locomotion along with teleportation available. Smooth and snap turning are available as well. You can play comfortably seated, and there are comfort options available. As far as sounds, it was mostly good, but I do have some issues. Now, first of all, I do want to say that I personally enjoyed the voiceovers in this game. I think the voice actors did a great job, and I do realize not everyone might share my opinion on that topic, because the protagonist is a little girl and they might find her voice annoying, maybe a little too peppy. But at the end of the day, I think this actress did a great job of capturing this child's wild imagination, wild enthusiasm, and also her sadness. And I think this voice works within the framework of the story being told. I also enjoyed the musical soundtrack in this game, but my problem is with the game's sound mix. A lot of the sound quality just wasn't very good. Sometimes it would be difficult to hear what was being said, or the sounds would crash into each other. As far as the story, I did enjoy it. I think it was very well written, especially for the message trying to be conveyed in the story. And the good news here is that you do not need to read up on Carl Jung or psychoanalysis in order to enjoy the story. However, if you are familiar with the concepts, it'll definitely help you in understanding the message. And I don't want to do any spoilers, so I don't want to talk too much about the story, but as mentioned earlier, you are basically traveling through her different memories, and you're trying to resolve her inner conflicts. And if you notice, there's two characters here, Selina and Annihilus. Selina and Annihilus, get it? If not, think about it. Just think about it. Or think about Jungian philosophy. And lastly, let's talk about the gameplay here, the actual logic puzzles. As mentioned earlier, these are water physics-based puzzles, and most of the game is just solving these puzzles and their iterations. The puzzles do start off very simple, and then there's new mechanics introduced, which do increase the challenge as you go along. But I honestly believe that these developers made a conscious decision to not push the envelope when it comes to difficulty. So the puzzles never get too difficult, and I would classify these puzzles as being casual level difficulty. So if you're a puzzle veteran, veteran and you're looking for a puzzle challenge, this is probably not the game for you. I would classify the puzzles in this game as casual level difficulty. There was a few puzzles that made me think for a few minutes, but never more than that unless I ran into some other issue. And before I talk about those issues, I do want to mention the other gameplay elements very briefly. There are memory items that you locate along the way that'll bring up new dialogue. There are some boss fights where you'll be blowing bubbles at the boss and also blocking lightning and directing it back at the enemy, which can get pretty intense because you have to quickly change lanes from the walls to the ceiling, and you have to find a path following the bubbles, again having to turn in all different directions, which can get pretty intense. And lastly, you'll put some items together, just hammering them down and putting them in the right order together. So the gameplay is definitely more than just the puzzles, and I did come across several bugs during that time, especially near the end of the game. Some of the puzzles just would not finish, so I had to reset them by leaving to the main menu and coming back. And one of the puzzles near the end is actually the wrong color. It was showing blue although the solution was red. And other than the bugs, I do have one last criticism, is that this game does have too many loading screens. I actually really did enjoy this game, and I think it is one of the better puzzle games on the Quest, but I did run into too many bugs, especially once you get near the end. And also I think it's just too expensive given that you can beat it in 4 to 5 hours. Overall, if I have to rate it, I would give it a 7 out of 10, although you might want to wait for a sale price like I did.
Whoa, this is huge. The armor should be inside. Can you crack it open? Oh, Big Blue, you'll have armor soon. You can take out the pieces and puzzle them together to build Big Blue's armor. Whoa! This is the strongest wheel armor on Earth! Well, Big Blue, what do you think of that? Yes, I think so too. I think you're right. Hero, have you found a magic bracelet? Hey, we would make them ourselves and give them to each other so that we would remain friends forever. I think we are friends now too, don't you? So, you can keep it. But let me spice it up with some magic first. Here you go. It will always be by your side, and you have magic now too.